Hello, welcome to Scott's Odyssey. We are out visiting an extremely rare site you can only catch when a series of events take place along the Youghiogheny River Lake in Addison, Pennsylvania. That site is the lost ruins of what is referred to as the Great Crossings Bridge. See you in a minute. If we get too much wobble, just realize I have some broken equipment because I forgot to bring the other equipment. Anyway, welcome back. If you've watched my videos before, thank you for your patronage. And if you're new to Scott's Odyssey, welcome aboard. Between 1811 and 1837, the federal government created a 620-mile, technically based on the date, a 1,000-kilometer road. This road connected the Potomac and Ohio rivers and was used for transport of goods to the west for the expansion of settlers. The road was commonly known as the Cumberland Road because of its start in Cumberland, Maryland, but it was officially just named the National Road. As the road was being expanded through Wheeling, West Virginia, some back building was taking place at specific locations for the infrastructure. One of those bridge locations was a bridge over the Youghiogheny River south of Confluence, Pennsylvania. The bridge was named the Great Crossings Bridge, which had started construction in 1813 and was completed in 1818 as a 30-foot wide, 40-foot tall, and 370-foot long sandstone bridge with 3 arches. The bridge was even formally dedicated by President James Monroe on July 4th of 1818 with a big celebration in the local town of Smithfield, which existed at the eastern end of the bridge and renamed to Summerfield the following year. The reason for the location of the bridge was the pre-existing ford that had been used in this area as far back as the early 1700s and even recorded in documents of George Washington and his journey to Fort Le Boeuf in 1753. Beginning in 1940, the Army Corps of Engineers were placing a dam along the river to mitigate flooding to areas further down the river. The town of Summerfield, along with Great Crossings Bridge, were fully immersed in the water of the new dam by 1943. Turning the Youghiogheny River into the Youghiogheny River Lake. Say it 3 times fast, people. Anyway, all of this took place as part of the Flood Control Act of 1936, the same program that created the Raystown Dam and many, many others within the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. The Flood Control Act of 1936 was a spectacular enactment of civil engineering projects to protect many towns and cities, which unfortunately ended an almost equal number of existing cities, just without the loss of life. The act led to the Watershed and Flood Prevention Operations Program to continue the mitigation of floods because it was realized that adding more dikes, dams, and levees would aid society into the future when it comes to floods. The WFPO was followed by the Flood Mitigation Assistance Grant Program, which set up federal funds to reduce the risk of flood damage where the WFPO and the FCA did not. Then it all went to hell in a handbasket with the illegal and unconstitutional creation and enactment of the Federal Emergency Management Agency, which was created without the ability to be subject to the Supremacy Clause of the Constitution, which we fortunately fixed by placing them under the control of the Department of Homeland Security, which unfortunately is another borderline tyrannical branch of our government created in the early 2000s under false flag pretense. I only point this out because FEMA is now trying to become its own tyrannical standalone office of the executive branch of government. And well, they have not done anything worth their weight in salt, and have only created delay situations in commercial traffic, stopped citizens from assisting other citizens in disasters, falsely incriminated people, taken away people's properties without constitutional right being granted, and calling it administrative forfeiture. And well, in this particular instance, creating a bullshit program called the National Flood Insurance Program, or NFIP, which is supposed to be a cost-effective flood insurance program for people who live in real and imagined flood zones. But if you read the fine print, you'll see they will only reimburse you for the lot which you're building and other properties are involved in what they deemed flooded, even if only some of your property was damaged. So yeah, you could have a $1 million home with $500,000 worth of equipment and another in household goods, furniture, clothing, your memories, your jewelry, your collections, all of which never got touched by any water. But because they deemed it flooded, they take all of it and compensate you the $2,000 that your quarter-acre lot was worth. This is no joke, and this is 100% accurate information. So if you're in the NFIP or the NFIP is provided by your local government, you need to go speak out and get it wiped out before they wipe you out. Now that I've gotten another formal and educational rant about how the current federal government works out of the way, keeping this channel a purely non-speculative and educational channel, let's get back to the Great Crossings Bridge. The bridge is submerged all year long, and only on very few occasions does it become visible. The conditions of its visibility are during periods of extreme drought. During non-drought conditions, the top of the bridge is usually about 50 feet below the surface of the water. The 206-year-old bridge still appears to be solid and holding its own, but because it is an abandoned bridge that exists underwater more than it does out of water in its long life, the Army Corps of Engineers have placed restrictions on foot traffic and boating near the bridge because they don't do anything to maintain this ruin of Pennsylvania's history, and for obvious reasons. So they just want you to be safe. And any act of civil disobedience or "we the people own this bridge" being used to violate this firm and legal request for you to not traverse the bridge is just sheer stupidity, disrespect to other citizens, and absolute entitlement for which you deserve whatever punishment is doled out to you. I mean, let's be real here. Just like any other artifact or ruins of history, look with your eyes, take nothing but pictures, and leave nothing but footprints. Now I'm going to do a lot of walking backward with the sun behind me, try to keep you in the shadow. I don't know if that helps any or if I should maybe do this, but I'm trying to protect the audio from the breeze that's coming across here. What we're walking up on right now is we're walking down part of the original National Road and another part which is sidewalks, because there was a town here. Some pottery, or maybe flue stack, some old fire brick. I was seeing some holes out there where it looked like somebody may have been doing a little bit of gold digging with a meter, but that's illegal because it is Army Corps of Engineer property. You're not allowed to metal detect. Isn't that just beautiful? If we come over here, possible stepping stones. This is a foundation. These look like they may have been step stones or floor stones. Here's some more concrete foundation. We'll find some more of that. Looks like we have some over here, but I want to get to the bridge. As we're coming along, space between buildings, another foundation. I don't know if this would have been a lot or a parking pad or a cellar. Maybe even an old boat launch? Not sure. But it did fall down, and it did have utilities. If you don't see what I'm looking at, I'll come in a little closer here. So that's interesting. That would have been for a dock, I guess, onto the edge of the river. Or an actual, not mooring pier, but something holding the building up. Hey, look, you always have that person. Whenever you see these structures, you're technically supposed to knock them down because it will injure creatures that live underwater, allegedly. All right, as we're coming up, that tree's been there for a very long time. Lots of brick, stone. Coming back over to the walkway. This guy over here, so this is concrete, and this one over here is macadam, and it's in spectacular condition. It's kind of interesting. It looks like they may have just attached the ramp, the current boat ramp, up to the other side to the pre-existing road of National Road. If we come over this way, you'll see another walkway. But what's beautiful with this walkway is all the trees. So there were a large series of trees planted along this walkway. And that continues all the way up. Over on this side, directly across from where the other house was, we have another foundation. This was a smaller building, if a building at all. This looks more like a sidewalk than a floor. Maybe the park was down this far. Here's some front steps entering into it. And this would have been a room. And this path here just kind of goes over here. There we go. I don't know where it led into this. we see the remnants of a couple of other ones out here. What's this curious thing? And just a big flat stone. There's a head of iron. Wait. Here's a head of iron. Okay. It is kind of clear to see where these foundation marks were. A couple of barrels out there. I wonder if there's any bodies. Another spot over here. Yeah, someone's been digging holes and doing other things with socks. Interesting. Rolling rocks. And we got this guy. No telling what he was. Try and get a picture of the old town and see if we can't figure it out. And the bone of some lost animal. Looks like there might be a cave there. As we come along, here it is. Here it is. Bridge closed to foot traffic restricted in this area, closed to the public. And if you want to zoom in and look at those people and give them tickets, I'm all for it. Well, this is interesting. So as we come along, we get to see this. Let's get a little closer. There's a retaining wall. (1813 to 1818). Some of the old trees still stuck in the bank. That one was beavered a long time ago. Walking around along with all the rocks, there's lots of pottery laying around, lots of glass pieces, Metal galore, slag, everything you can imagine. Fast drop-offs. Of course, we got to walk toward the fast drop-off. I wonder what's right below there. Ah, shale wall. Look at that guy. That's pretty impressive. Let's make our way over there. What's really neat is to realize that the vast majority of what you're seeing here is mud, not water flow. You can see the water flow. The rest of it's all mud. That's pretty neat. All right, so being caught up about the bridge is pretty darn cool. But one of the other cool things is when you go beyond the bridge, and you find things like this. I don't know if they were steps going down, foundation base. There are tree stumps out there. Not sure, but I don't want to walk down either because I don't want to end up in the mud. All right, here it is from the other side. I don't know what that is. Walking along here still, came to somebody's outflow, so there would have been a building here. It is a beautiful little bridge. Whatever the trees were, there were a lot of them. They were big and they were old. I came over this way. There's the parking lot. You can see it up here. And there's a big old cast iron pipe here. Don't know what purpose he was serving. A lot of broken blue glass. Some driftwood, pretty driftwood. Prettier driftwood. There's that big cast iron. I don't know what it was doing or where it was facing. It's facing upstream right now, but there is a lot of junk right here in this area. And a trash can for whatever purpose. Let's go over and check that out with another trash can in the actual mud. All right, I was looking at this a little bit more here. It's really interesting. It is on a downslope, and I thought this was just receding water making these little ridges, but as I look, this was actually caving and caving, and then water was still flowing out in little tiny rivulets. I'm actually wondering if there's an old sewer system here. And based on the time period, if there's an old sewer system here, it would be made of wood, which would be really cool. Kind of afraid to walk over. Let's walk over anyway. Let's see if we sink or fall in. Yeah, see, this is a flow. And who knows why they're doing that, but they are. Anyway, there's a lot of leaf debris here. Yeah, I'm wondering, but I'm not going to climb down there all the way. A lot of debris. Anyway, let's go over further. Righty, let's see what we have here, because whatever this is what we had seen earlier all the way back where those people are walking around trying to figure out what it is. This one looks like it's still intact. It has a lid. It has its blocks. It has an out. It has a step in it, but still no idea what this is, was, or could have been. And you guys know the rules. If you know what it is, tell me. Leave a comment down below what this is. Get you some better pictures. Or at least some more pictures. Come around to the other side of it. What would these types of blocks been used for? These types of blocks here that have the phone shadow on them. What would they have been used for? What would this have been? Now, here's the water. They are on part of a ledge, a drop off, but we are still that far from where the water is, or where the water goes. All right, I'm just still walking along the lake edge, but something over here caught my eye. I want to see what it is. Come up here and take a peek. Let me know if you know what it is. All right, it is full of concretion. It is definitely cast iron ring. Nope, that's not concretion. Somebody poured concrete in it. This is an old manhole cover, manhole ring. Nope, there's a big old chain hanging off of it. This is the most ghetto looking anchor I've ever seen. No idea what it is. So here's our rings. Give us an age. Here's the ring. Looks like it actually had side walls. It's got a couple of these tines sticking up. This is a way to close the ring. It had a tine, and a tine. Wonder what you were. Any ideas? Is this the base to a buoy? Letting everybody know that this is the last of the shallow spot, and that from here it drops off. Or maybe saying you're getting too close to the bridge, don't go any further. Oh, we have a pad all the way out here too. Oh, there's some more iron stuff. Let me go back and look at this other iron stuff. Then we'll come back over this way. All right, so here's one. That is a motor. Definitely a motor. And the one over here, the other half to the motor. And somebody had built a box, a ladder. Also a barrel of concrete and a hook end. Wonder what that was. As we walk over here, we're far away from a lot of things, but hey, there's always another stoop somewhere, isn't there? Where does this one go? Comes up, you can see the Oh, get the shadow out. You can see the path it would have taken. This one goes straight in. No idea what to. That looks like a hanger for the bridge. Speaking of which, there are tons of cables around here. There are dog prints down here. More rocks with loops in them, ghetto anchors. And now the fun part. What do we have here? And why did they ford here? I guess it makes sense why they forded here. We come over this way, and what do we have? We have some fiberglass pipe that probably came off of the bridge. Look at this wood. This huge decking. Held together with steel. This is absolutely a monster. On this side we have concrete pads. Ah, this would have been the old boat ramp, I'm assuming. An old boat ramp. That would make sense for the wood. Yeah, not definitely though. There's more of the wood over there. And we come over here. And let's see what happens. Here's a hunk of rope tied off to a cinder block. Not an ash block, but an actual cinder block. That's a beautiful stone, not these guys. That right there, absolutely beautiful piece of ganister, I believe. Look at the way they're stacked on top of each other. Somebody who's just having an absolute rock party. There's another gorgeous rock of sandstone. Look at that. But I want to look at this. Ooh. Is this a fish habitat structure? Yeah, made out of plastic. Let me know, is that a habitat? A fish habitat? It's all PVC and plastic. A couple of cinder blocks to hold it down. And some wire thrown on top of it because who knows? Let's throw wire on top of things. All right, let's go further. All right, I originally wasn't gonna come down here because I'm not looking to get muddy. But my curiosity, imagine that, my curiosity is getting the better of me. So I'm walking now in this general direction. Here's more of that wood. Getting closer to the underside of the highway above me and going down into the softer dirt. Hopefully I don't slip and fall on my bum. I left my rubbers at home. Yes, I said I left my rubbers because Scott's Odyssey does do safe exploration. So my rubbers are at home. I can get a little bit closer and then we're gonna have to stop because it's getting too slippery and muddy. Alrighty, here we go. Look at this guy. Look at this beast. Let me step back. Look at him. He's just like all standing here forever, 100 years. Gets to watch the bottom of that bridge through the water. Probably a good home for fish. All right, Coming over. Look at this monstrosity. Let's try and get that sunlight out of you. Nope, that's not working. There it is. Get that sunlight. Nope, not getting the sunlight out of there. I don't know if that was an original rail bridge or an original bridge that was put out here. Try and get some cool shots out here. I don't know what that is either, but that's got my interest. Can you see it? I wonder what that is. All right, trying to get this structure again. I had a little difficulty coming up the hill, so I'm breathing heavy. Look at that. How to sink your boat in a day. And for all you weirdos. Let me know down in the comments below if you know of stories and locations such as this one of the Great Crossings Bridge. The easiest way to support the channel is with a like and click the subscribe button, both costing you nothing. The best way to support the channel is to jump out to the store and pick out something you really like. If you wish to help me get to these locations, donate at Buy Me a Coffee or Patreon or PayPal. As always, I thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.